And here we are. This is what remains of the earth ramp right below us here. Of course, this was 2,000 years ago, so it deteriorated quite a bit. The path alongside is a path leading up the hill. Got a tour group behind me.
אפשר לראות כשמסתכלים על הסוללה שמימין ומשמאלה זה הולך ומתרחק מהחומה. כלומר זאת גם הייתה חד משמעית.
That area over there is where the Roman encampments were. See the boxed in area? There's two of them. A smaller one here, larger one over there. Those are the Roman encampments. You go around the other side here.
לשפוך עליהם נוזלים חמים, לירוק עליהם, לקלל אותם עם אמא שלהם, כל צד עשה מה שהוא יכול היה. הרומאים היו, לפי יוסף בן מתתיהו, לוקחים שבויים יהודים, שמים אותם
There's a path going down the side of the mountain. It's called Snake Path. Myself and another fellow climbed down there, hiked down there one time, about 3 years ago maybe. I have pictures of it posted on the website too. I have some pictures I'm going to be I'll post on the website where the path and where it zigzags in and out, which is why it's called Snake Path, of course. But it goes down the side of the hill over here, which I'll be taking a look at in a moment. Here we go. Much better view. So again, there's the earth ramp. It's a path coming up the hill. There's one path going down on either side over there, which you can't see now. There's a path coming up. It's where the tour buses park on the west side. This is on the west side of Masada. On the east side is where they have the cable car. This is the west side. The west side, to get here, you have to come through the town of Arad. Arad is about maybe, I'm guessing, 25 miles west of Masada. Here's the earth camps that I was the Roman encampments that I was pointing out. See the big square area there, a big one there, a little one here. It's where the Romans would have encamped out at when they were here building this earth ramp. They didn't build the earth ramp, by the way. They had slave Jews doing it. That's why they say that the Jews wouldn't fire upon them, because they were their own people that were building the ramp. So they couldn't stop them. Otherwise, they could have been killing them as they tried to build the ramp, but they couldn't do that because it was the Jews that were building the ramp. They used the slaves that they had captured in other provinces in Judea here to build the earth ramp. There's a snake path. See the path going across there? I zoom in on it, but I can't see the side of this with the sun glare. And there's a path going down the hill over there. It's called Snake Path. And a little view of the countryside here. And we're going to head around the other side here. That's heading east to the Dead Sea. We're going to head back that way and go to Herod's Castle. And along the way we're going to see the synagogue, the remains of the synagogue that the Jews that lived on top of Masada would have used. Some Roman baths, some mikvahs, where the Jews would have mikvahed. I started to say a mikvah is simply a cleansing. It's an immersion, a cleanse. If somebody became unclean for any reason, touching a dead animal, touching a dead body, and a number of other reasons were given in the Torah, then they would have had to been cleansed, and they were unclean until evening. Well, that cleansing was called a mikvah, or baptism, if you will. Baptism simply means immersed. The writer of Hebrews, in Hebrews 6, he says, although there's many baptisms, that's exactly what he's talking about. I'm going to turn the camera off. We're going to head over here, and I'll stop when we get to some interesting spots along the way. See, look at the thickness of this wall here. That's an entrance into this room here. There's the black lines. Look how thick that is. That's amazing. It's probably about 6 foot thick. Pretty incredible. A lot of people must have died when Herod built this thing, you know, building it on the edge of the mountain like this. Cutting all these rocks out. I imagine hauling them up at times. There's rooms off to the side. Yeah, I wanted to camp up here. I was hoping to come down here, come up on the top, go down the side. When it got dark out, come back to the top, set my tent up, and spent the night at Masada, the night on top of Masada. But the more I thought about it, the park closes. So if the IDF would have came up here and they would have asked me what I was doing, and if I knew I shouldn't be up here, I'd have to, of course, say yes. I couldn't lie about it. And that could have got me in some trouble. So I decided against it. But you are allowed to climb up here in the morning before the sun comes up. So like I said, I did that twice already. I've done that a couple times. Got some pictures of the sunrise. Yeah, there's a snake path there heading down the hill. Looking over the side. Yeah, Masada is the most visited tourist attraction in Israel. More people come here than any place else. At least that's what they say. I would have guessed the Kotel, the Western Wall, would have been the most popular. There's a lot of sights in Israel to see, of course. Oh, here's the remains of the synagogue. The synagogue. Long since, my brave men, we determined neither to serve the Romans nor any other Elohim or God. Josephus Flavius, we'll talk a little bit about him. So the rebels' way of life in Masada required a building of a suitable community meeting and Torah. Torah is the law. Reading. This building, which became a synagogue during the revolt, was built in Herod's time, most likely as a stable. The rebels changed its internal structure and even closed off a small room in the corner of the hall, which apparently served for storage of Torah scrolls, and again as a repository for damaged scrolls. Under its floor were found fragments of biblical scrolls, including the vision of the dry bones, that's in the book of Ezekiel, that's chapter 37. And the synagogue at Masada is one of the very few discovered. The synagogue at Masada is one of the very few discovered so far that date from the Second Temple period. And this is kind of a rendition of what it would have looked like. Ezekiel 37, I believe, this talks about the vision of dry bones. I love that chapter. Here's the inside of the synagogue. Yeah, that said they found a room underneath where it had a repository for the old scrolls. Jews don't burn the scrolls or throw them out, and I fully agree with that. They have their name on it. Oh, there's a rabbi writing the scrolls right now. The Torah scrolls have the name of the Almighty in it, Yod He Vav He. And I started to say in the translations, many of them anyway, they put the term the Lord. Well, that's not the word the Lord in the Hebrew. The word Lord is Adonai, Adon. In the Hebrew, whenever you see the word L-O-R-D, all capitals, that's the Almighty's name, Yod He Vav He. And most people believe it to be pronounced as Yahweh, or Yahweh, Y-A-H-W-E-H. I believe with a U in it, it's probably a little more accurate. Yahweh, Y-A-H-U-W-E-H. From the studying I've done, I believe it's probably a more accurate way of saying it. Let me take a look down here, head down to Herod's castle. I'm going to turn the corner here and shut the video off for a moment.